Perfecto. All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. My name is Stevie Aquilina and I'm in Sydney, Australia. And first I want to just say, I hope you're doing well out there, like really well. I hope you're feeling safe. I hope you're feeling secure. I hope you're feeling healthy. I do know that we're in challenging times, but thank goodness to technology. Even while we're practicing social distancing, we do not have to be socially disconnected. Well, thank you very much, Gary. Oh, thank you very much, Coops. Appreciate those messages. Yeah, and so it is really good to still be able to round up and get together on this technology here, Zoom. But again, I just want to let you know that mine and Sarah's thoughts and hearts are with you, and we hope that you're not battling for your life, and then past that, we'll hope you're not battling for your livelihood right now either. But I do believe that the information that you are going to see this evening, you're going to deem as being very relevant considering the current environment. Everybody needs to, thanks Fergie. Everyone needs to know about this information more than ever right now, more than ever. And that's not just my opinion. I'm sure a lot of you will share that opinion by the end of this presentation this evening. They need to know about this information more than ever and in more ways than one, in more ways than they probably realize right now. So I hope everyone's doing well. Okay, without further ado, let me jump into introducing our very special guest speaker here this evening. This gentleman has been through the network marketing industry for the last 25 years. He's actually a very close friend and been mentored through those 25 years by the famous Mal Sword that you will all know. Fastest growing organization in this business and a very tremendous global leader. And this gentleman is on par with him. He might not say that, but I do. He's a tremendous gentleman, a tremendous businessman, a tremendous leader, and it's proven in the stats. He's been in the top 1% of this industry across Australia and New Zealand. Now he's married to Liz, his beautiful wife Liz, for 33 years. And together they created 2 boys, which are men now. And he's also represented South Australia and Victoria in their football leagues. So he is a diamond executive with this organization you're going to hear about this evening. And I want you to put a Zoom, a virtual round of applause together, at least in the chat box. Give a big hooray for Steve Copping. Thank you very much for joining us this evening, sir.
Thanks, Stevie. And yeah, I can't wait to hear what I'm going to say after that introduction, Steve. But I particularly want to welcome the new people on this call tonight. It's a lot of responsibility to do this presentation because if you're new here, a lot what you do after this will depend on my talk. So I'm going to share with you the best I can as far as what you got your hands on. My goal here tonight is for you to leave this presentation with a desire to want to know more. You're not going to get all your questions answered here tonight, but as Stevie said, this is a breakthrough in a transformational technology called redox signaling molecules. Most people in the world have never heard of it. A good friend of mine, as Stevie said, Malcolm Sword, put me onto it in early 2016. I'm an ex-farmer by trade, and us farmers were not really into our health. We sort of die in the paddock. But I'd lost some, when Mal approached me 4 years ago, I'd lost some very close friends within a 3-year period. And so it got my attention that I played, as Stevie said, I played sport, and I relate life to 4 quarters. I'm 63, I'm in the 3rd quarter of life, where between 50 and 75, where things can start to go wrong health-wise. And so I went along to the launch of this product in Australia, New Zealand back in February 2016. I sat up the back and I thought they could impress me with their sales pitch and all that sort of stuff. And I was pleasantly surprised. It was more a case whether I fitted in. So I took their advice. I went and did their 90-day trial. I went down and got a full medical at the start, and I thought I'd get a full medical after 90 days. And then I'll tell my testimony, good or bad. I never did get the final one done because with all my research, I was over the line anyway. And I pay $270 a month for health insurance when something does go wrong. And the reason I'm taking this particular product, hopefully I won't have to use it. My biological clock might have me down for a serious illness in 4 years' time. And the reason I'm taking this is hopefully that might push that situation out further. So without any further ado, perhaps we can go into the presentation, Stevie, and we'll go through. I'll share more in the slides. Okay, so next. So many in the medical and scientific community are calling ASEA the single greatest health science, anti-aging athletic breakthrough of our lifetime. Some are even comparing it to the discovery of penicillin and DNA, such as its significance. Keep going, Steve. First, a disclaimer: ASEA is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or medical condition. We need to make sure we say that. ASEA simply enhances the ability of every cell in your body to function at a higher level, which can in turn have a tremendous positive impact on your health and well-being, by Dr. Gary Samuelson. Generally, people come onto this webinar or they have a look at this particular product for one of 6 reasons. Firstly, you might have a health issue yourself. Secondly, you might know of someone that might have a health issue. Thirdly, it might be for anti-aging benefits or self-image or self-esteem reasons. Fourthly, it might be you might be an athlete on this webinar. So we have Olympic gold medalists that have been using this for 10 years because it's not a drug. I guess we're all athletes, just at a different level of performance. Fifthly, you might be proactive in regard to your health, and that was, I guess, my situation. If I was 30 years of age, that I probably wouldn't have looked at it for that reason, but at 63, that was one of the main reasons I looked at it. And lastly, you might be on this webinar for commercial or business reasons, especially in the current climate, because as I'll share with you as we move through this presentation, I put my hand up 4 years ago to help these guys drive it to market, and there's some serious income involved for people that want to participate in that, which I'll share later on. You can go to this website, and Dr. David Silberman will go through these 6 points in more detail. So yeah, if we have a look at the history behind this, a Nobel Prize was awarded for redox signaling, if you like, evolving as far as people knowing about it. It was discovered in 1998 and by three scientists, but generally, if you look at antioxidants, they've been around for 80 years, but people hadn't heard of them, didn't hear about them until the last 20 or 30 years. And a lot of people in the medical profession still haven't heard about this discovery of redox signaling molecules. Next. This is father and son, Tyler and Vertus, and Mal Sword sent me this link below, ASEAGenesisVideo.com. And I guess generally you know when you connect with someone or not, and you'll make that judgment on me tonight. When I watched that video, it's a 16-minute story of ASEA and how it nearly never made it to market. And but I made a decision to get involved right there and then after watching that video. And if you haven't watched that, I highly suggest you get it. I've never seen corporate guys with a heart like these guys. And I thought these were guys that I could trust. And it just so happened the launch of ASEA was about 2 weeks out on the Gold Coast, the launch of Australia and New Zealand from when I watched that video. So, and they were both coming out. So I went along to that function and met them both face to face. And us farmers, we tend to go on gut feel. And they, in the 4 years I've been involved, they haven't missed a beat. They haven't let me down at all. So next. Dr. Gary Samuelson, he was the doctor largely acclaimed for making the breakthrough. What happened was Tyler Norton, he was asked to go on the board of this medical company, biotech company, and basically they'd spent millions and millions of dollars over 17 years. They were going broke, and he was telling a friend of his that he was thinking about putting a team together to buy the technology and have a crack at it himself in retirement. And that's what they did. They bought the technology, and Vertus put all these scientists on it, including Dr. Gary Samuelson. And it was Dr. Gary Samuelson that finally made the breakthrough a couple of years later, I think it was in 2000, I think it was 2007. It might have been 2009, where he was able to stabilize these molecules outside of the body, once considered impossible. And originally it was a financial play. And so they headed off to one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the States, told them what they'd done. They didn't believe them. Cut a long story short, they flew out to see them. And after 6 hours looking over all their data, basically they said, actually, we do believe you're onto something here. We'll make you an offer so big that you won't want to talk to anyone else. But they said, there's a catch. And they said, what's the catch? They said, you've got to shut it down. They said, excuse me, we've got 7 people on death row, another 40 on trial that are improving. It's gone to 20 countries through no fault of their own. They said, that's a bit harsh, isn't it? And they said, look, people have health issues all the time. They're doing the best they can. If you want to work with us, you're going to have to walk away. And that took them back a bit, and they basically said, we'll get back to you. And then these 3 guys sat around the table, thought, well, what do we do? Do we just take the money and run and just say to these guys that are on it, wish you well? No, they chose humanity over the dollar. But once that decision was made, it was a case of, well, how are they going to take it to market? They can't put it through the chemist. The only way they could take it to market was by word of mouth, which is how you got on this webinar tonight. So next. So a Seers referral-based business model enables every single person to generate a serious income on a part-time basis without changing what they're currently doing. And one of the things about opportunity is there's an old saying in ice hockey, you want to skate to where the puck's going to be, not where it is. And with this company, no one knows about it. But as you'll see in the graphs following, you'll see the history of this and where it's going to be in the future. Next. ASEA is a cellular health company founded in 2007, based in Utah in the United States. ASEA is the global leader in redox signaling-based health, athletic, and anti-aging technologies. It's not only the global leader, it is the only company in the world that has this technology. There is no other product in the world that contains redox signaling molecules. And that's creating significant financial opportunity. The company's financially strong and stable. We're heading into their 10th year of operation. So they're well past the 5-year itch. They were debt-free after 7 months of operation. They've got 18 distribution centers around the world. 2017, they did $84 million in turnover. 2018, 120. 2019, 170 million. And it's expected to be $1 billion company within 5 years. And so they're looking for people, for entrepreneurs, visionaries, people that see what we see to help bridge that gap and reach that milestone and assist in driving this to market. If you look at the management of the company, if you pursue this, you'll get an opportunity to meet these guys. They just unbelievable guys, tremendous amount of history from a management point of view. And if you look at the medicos behind it, the 4th one on the top, or 2nd from the top right, Dr. David Silverman, I went to meet him in Sydney to check this out back in 2016. He was a foot surgeon, and he's recently sold his practice to concentrate on driving this product to market. And these doctors are available. A lot of them got DR in front of their name. And you get back with the person who brought you here, and you'll be able to be able to tap in some of their videos. So what are redox signaling molecules? Well, let's have a look at what they're not. Right? They're not a drug. They're not an antioxidant. They're not a mineral. They're not a vitamin. Not an exotic juice. Not a new type of water. It's a new category of science called a cell signaling supplement. It's a new category of science, and a lot of people haven't heard of a cell signaling supplement. Next. So redox signaling molecules, just click through these, Steve. They're made in every cell in our body every second of every day. They're essential to life, and they're involved in every major body system and function. So if you're from a medical background, you would understand that, probably more so than myself. Next. And this is the problem, as we age, our cells become less efficient and produce less and less redox signaling molecules. By the time you get to 50, you're down to 50% production. By the time you get to 70, down to 10%. Basically, we lose 10% a decade. And what these molecules are, they're the messaging signals to the immune system, right? If you've got a damaged cell, these molecules will send a message out to the immune system. Help, repair, damage, got a damaged cell down here, come down here and fix it, delete it, repair it, do what you got to do, but get down here and do your job. But as we age, the signal gets weaker and weaker. It's a bit like when your house is burning down, you rush outside with your mobile phone, the fire department's ready to come. But if you've got a weak signal on your mobile phone, they're not going to get the message and your house burns down. And that's what's happened with these molecules in our body. So with this particular product, I take 60 ml in the morning, 60 ml at night. What it does is it tops up my cells with these redox signaling molecules. So now I've got an immune system more like a 15-year-old than a 63-year-old. So the body's more adept at healing itself. That's all it does. But it's a pretty significant thing that it does. Next. There are two main types of stress that cause illness, oxidative and inflammatory. You might want to flick through these a bit. They're also an important part of the body's healing process. When they do not switch off when they should, they become chronic and cause illness. And redox signaling molecules control this process. Next. Our cells are basically just a sack of salt water. The mitochondria in our cells create what they call ATP, or energy in the cell. And part of the process of creating that energy, they create what are called these redox signaling molecules. But for years, they thought these molecules are just a waste product, like an exhaust on a car. But with more and more research, they actually found out these molecules are vital to cellular health, which is ultimately our whole health. Reductants protect the cells by activating antioxidants, and we've all heard about antioxidants. Oxidants detect, repair, and replace damaged cells using the immune system. And if you look at reductants and oxidants, redox comes from RED, meaning reductants, and OX from oxidants. That's where they get redox from. Next. Keep clicking. Okay, failure of your immune system to activate antioxidants causes oxidative stress. And some of the symptoms of oxidative stress include the following: hypertension, heart disease, Alzheimer's, macular degeneration, osteoarthritis, stroke, obesity, and diabetes type 2. Failure of your immune system to detect, repair, and replace damaged cells causes inflammatory stress. Well, what are some of the symptoms of inflammatory stress? Well, things like asthma, allergies, bowel issues, thyroid, hormonal imbalance, autoimmune, cancer, and skin issues. And if you look at all those, failure of your immune system to activate antioxidants or to detect, repair, and replace damaged cells will basically leave us more vulnerable to these types of conditions. And what the redox signaling molecules do is they help in controlling the failure of your immune system. And so it gets back to its maximum performance. That's what it does. And as a result of doing that, it reduces the chance that we can get these things. Next. ASEA is a patented three-step process. So the mitochondria in the cells, they make these redox signaling molecules from what they have an abundance of, which is salt water, right? Now, when they make them in the cells, they make them in a trillionth of a second, and if they're not used straight away, they revert back to salt water. Now, for ASEA, right, to create the same molecules, it takes them 3 days. And what they do is they break up the molecular structure of salt water, sodium chloride, hydrogen, and oxygen, and then a new molecular structure is created called redox signaling molecules, which is identical to what's in your cells. And it's very important here to state that ASEA is not salt water. It's made from salt water. And basically, they've got 37 patents on the manufacturing process, so there can be no copycats. Right, and yeah, so next, Dr. Samuelson says on the right there, this technology has the potential to spearhead the greatest advances in health we have ever seen. So why aren't we getting better? Well, generally when we're crook, right, we have a visual symptom, if you like, on the outside of the body, which we go to the doctor. And then, we don't go to the doctor until something is wrong. Yeah, just click through here, Stevie. We get pharmaceutical drugs that generally treat the symptoms. But what if we could treat the causes before it actually came to the surface? And this is why a lot of people are taking ASEA, is because we don't know what it is preventing. Balanced redox molecules help your body deal with the root causes before they come to the surface. And that takes on a whole new meaning in itself. Next. Our bodies know how to heal themselves. They just need the material and the labor to do it. If you look at the material, what does that involve? Well, food and supplements, you get them from the health food store, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. If you look at the labor is redox signaling molecules. Now, If you're on here for the first time, when I first heard that, I struggled to comprehend it until it was explained to me this way. And if we can go to the next slide. If you look at that picture, there's no action, nothing's happening. Obviously, there's a house being built, but it's obviously after 3 o'clock, everyone's gone home, and nothing's going to happen until 6:30 tomorrow morning. If we go to the next slide, and here we are at 6:30 the following morning, the workers have arrived, and there's a hive of activity. You'll see on the left there, you'll see the timber lying on the ground. You'll see the 2 pallets of bricks, and you'll see the tiles in the foreground. Right? But nothing happens until the workers arrive. And if you look in our body, right, when we take natural, these are all good stuff. Natural vitamins, antioxidants, proteins and carbs, fats and minerals, and even ASEA has good vitamins and minerals as well. But these are materials. These are like the bricks on the pallet. They're useless in the body until they're put to use by redox-Sydney molecules. So redox-Sydney molecules are the workers that put them to work. So there's a lot of companies out there that have a lot of, natural products and other products. And the great thing about this is we're not in competition to them. No, but we have the worker that puts their product to work. So these redox-Sydney molecules will actually enhance the effectiveness of their products. And that was a significant point for me, of a point of difference to what we've got. No one else in the world has the worker that puts all these good vitamins to work, but we do. ASEA does, redox-Sydney molecules. Next. Let's have a look at the products. ASEA products do things that no other products can do. Why? Because they're the only products in the world that contain redox-Sydney molecules. Let's see, there we go. Okay. So basically, the premier product is the drink. That's a 32 fluid ounce bottle. That was launched in 2010. I take 60 ml in the morning, 60 ml at night. The Renewed 28, the gel, topical gel, that was launched in 2014. And the gel has basically twice as many molecules per measurement than the drink. And how this works is, if you've got a sore knee, and if you rub the gel on your knee, that's where the molecules will go. But if you take the drink, the body might say, Steve, I know you got a crooked knee, but your liver's worse. I'm going to use the molecules over there first. So the gel's more target specific, whereas the drink will take the molecules to where they're needed most. And in 2016, there's a pressure from the women in the field who asked the company if they could develop a skincare range that contain these redox-Sydney molecules. So the 2 products on the right, the Renew 28 and the Intensive Serum and the blue tube there, that's 4 times as strong as the drink. Right? It's heavily concentrated. It's a bit dearer in price. And on the left, you've got the moisturizer and the cleanser that don't have molecules in them, but they complement the skincare range. So it's the only skincare range in the world that contains these redox-Sydney molecules that are native to the body, and that was launched in 2016. So if we look at the research, whenever people hear about something, the first thing they go to is Dr. Google, a very qualified area to go to. I don't think so. So don't go to Google. When you tell someone not to go there, the first thing you do is go to there. So I'll give you a bit of a heads up. You'll find some sites on there that say it's just glorified salt water. But you can try this. Go down to the sea, fill a bottle up of seawater, then take it to wherever you go to get patents on it, and see if they'll give you a patent on it. It won't happen, right? So ASEA's got 37 patents on this particular product, guaranteeing that this product contains redox-Sydney molecules. Instead of going to Google, I'd suggest you go to the following 2 sites. Go to Google Scholar, and when you go there, type in redox-Sydney molecules, and you'll see what comes up. You can see there, right? Go to the next slide, click, over 1 million results. You can type in redox-Sydney molecules -cancer, redox-Sydney molecules -autoimmune, right? And you'll find heaps of articles on there. Next slide. Another good site to go to is www.pubmed.gov. It's the US National Library of Medicine, National Institutes of Health. And you can do the same. You'll see down the bottom there, over 1,700, nearly 1,800 results. So this is not new. Right? What is new is the fact that we're hearing about it. So next. Let's look at some testimonials. One of the biggest things which I found out early was that athletes were using this. And I played sport at the highest level, and we've all heard of WADA and you know, how people get tested for that. Well, basically, I actually rang WADA to see if they'd test this product. And the bottom line is they don't test anything, right? They will test you or me, right? They put out a list of banned substances, and if I happen to test positive for one of those substances, then I'm gone. Right, so Bridget Larson there in the top right-hand corner, she's an Olympic gold medalist. She's been using it for 9 years, all through her gold medal winning years. So this will be, I believe this will be in every sporting medical room within 5 years because it's not a drug. Next. And there's yeah, go on, you're right. This is a close friend of mine now. I didn't know Danny at the time, but it's not hard to work out what Danny was in his early 40s when he came down with a terrible health issue. And it's not hard to work out what he had when you look at the photo on the left. And for 2.5 years in late, I think it was 2012, his second home was the Sydney Royal Hospital. And you can look at that photo in the middle to see that he wasn't a well man. And in 2014, he was told by the doctors that after 2.5 years of being in the hospital that they couldn't do anything more for him. He's best to go home and get his finances in order and spend what time he had left with his family. And at about that stage, October 2014, he got a call from a friend of his in Utah, Bart Cotter, who basically all he said was, Danny, look, I've come across a product that I think might be worth having a look at, because Bart knew his situation. So Danny flew to Utah with Mal, actually, the guy that put me on it. And over the next 3 or 4 days, he went on a huge detox program because of all the medications he was on. And today he's as fit as ever. If you go to the next slide, today's as fit as ever, and he travels the world telling his story. An incredible testimonial. Next. After 7 months on a SEER, this is self-image. I mean, this woman on the left, how could you feel confident about going out at night or going out anytime? And just to see that result after notice it's 7 months, it's not 7 days. A lot of people, I gave it that go for a week and it didn't work. Right? Well, often these issues take years and years to come to the surface, and if the people don't get a result in the first couple of weeks, they go, oh, that didn't work. Right? You've got to give it time. So next. This is a lady that a lot of us on this call know very well, Julie Watts, and she went to hell and back with a serious health issue, which you can see in these photos. And you can ask the person who got you on his call tonight to hear her story, because it's worth hearing. Next. You know, that's her on the left, and this is her on the right today. Absolutely incredible. And if you hang around this business, you'll get to meet her. She's a lovely person. Next. And it's for young people too. Who remembers those days in adolescence where, you know, like boyfriend, girlfriend, and, you know, you look like on the left, and, you know, it was a terrible time as far as emotionally, and, you know, and look at this young girl, you know, on the right, just, you know, incredible results, and her self-esteem would have taken a huge jump. This particular lady had this issue for several years, and a lot of people would know of this issue on this call. And this is after using using Renew 28, and it's called Renew 28 because your cells renew themselves every 28 days. But as we age, that 28 days goes out to 35 days, to 40 days, to 50 days as we age. But this is the result after 3 weeks of using Renew 28. Next. I love these series of photos. This is Rosie, 120 mils of SEER daily, 2 tubes Renew 28 monthly. Right, and she doesn't age going from right to left. She ages going left to right. Right. So, you know, look at her on the far left and look at her on the far right. Right, and interesting, you know, incredible results. Next. And this is a longer term issue. I mean, this particular issue she didn't get this overnight, right? But look, after 5 months of using a SEER, and no doubt the Renew 28, the results. You know, so a lot of people would have quit after a month. Oh, you know, that doesn't work, da, da, da. And look at the results there. So one of the biggest things is give this time to work. Breakthroughs create opportunities. And imagine having the single greatest breakthrough in wellness, anti-aging, athletics, and skincare. 4 categories. We have no competition and no copycats. Like I said, they've got 37 overlapping patents rolling out over 20 years. So there can be no copycats. And we've got exclusive marketing rights all around the world. Unless 1% of the population know about it. You can go to work and ask, you can ask your person at work, Mary, what do you know about redox Sydney molecules? See what they say. They'll probably say, what do I know about what? No one knows about it. And with that comes opportunity. Next. So we're in 3 of the world's biggest industries: health and wellness, beauty and anti-aging, athletic performance. I'm a baby boomer, people born between 1946 and 1964. This is a baby boomer product. It's also an athlete product. It's also a big anti-aging product. The people in Asia, they're very conscious of anti-aging, and they're taking to this like storm. Over $4 trillion in turnover annually, significant growth every year, which you'll see in a graph later on. ASEA has some of the most unique and advanced products in these 3 industries, and these are all industries which we're all conscious of in this day and age. It's all about timing. If you want to be at the end of the last, do you want to be at the end of the last wave or the beginning of the next? In the last 30 years, it's all been about natural vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, exotic juices. Natural vitamins are great, but your body doesn't make blueberries. When you take natural vitamins, the body, when you put them down your throat, the body's got to say, cool, what do I do with this lot? But when you take redox Sydney molecules that the cells in our body already make, it knows exactly what to do with them and puts them to work straight away. Right, so you're going to see over the next 30 years, redox Sydney molecules come of age as, especially people in the medical profession, become more aware of it. It's a category creator, third-party science verification, life-changing benefits. It's heavily patented, no competition, and this is all resulting in a tremendous financial opportunity for anyone that wants to put their hand up. ASEA is on the move, and this is a great graph starting in 2009. And so we're, most companies, the big test is the first 5 years. Well, that's 5 years ago. So if you're looking at this for the first time and perhaps to give us a hand to drive this to market, we're heading into the growth phase, right? We're past the pre-momentum, and you're going to see in the next 2, 3, 4 years, as this graph is predicting, our goal is to be $1 billion company within the next 5 years. And so we're looking for some people to help us to do that. Financial rewards, there's 8 ways you can make, you get paid in this. And what I like about this is you get paid weekly. You don't get paid monthly. Most people are used to a paycheck. 8 ways to earn money, and it's one of them. It's a great compensation plan, but once again, it's a reward for effort. Next. Here's some possible incomes, and these are very, very conservative. I've deliberately done that as to not to exaggerate, but these are very conservative. And what I encourage you to do, if you're looking at this from a commercial point of view, is pick out an income that you would like to earn in a month, part-time, and then get together with the person who invited you along here, and they'll be able to design a plan for you to achieve that. Right? And so, yeah, it's not about me. It's not about the person who brought you along to this. It's all about you, and it's what you want. If you're just here for the product, that's fine. But we're looking for people that this is the only way it's going to get out to the market is if we let other people know about it, so that you can get these figures off the person who brought you along. So how does it work? So this might test your skills here a bit, Stevie. Let's say everyone's got a favourite restaurant. So let's say you go to your favourite restaurant, I've got a Thai restaurant here on the Gold Coast, and so when you go to the Thai restaurant, you go to pay your bill. Just hold it for a minute, Steve. You go to pay your bill, and the owner says, Steve, you've been coming to this restaurant for years, right? You obviously, how was your meal tonight? Oh, mate, it was awesome, just same as always. He said, well, look, you might be able to help me out. I spend thousands and thousands of dollars on advertising. I'm on the radio 2 or 3 times a week. Now you can click through, Steve. I'm in the local paper, right? I'm in Yellow Pages, right? I'm on Shop It, on the back of the Shopper docket, on TV at least once a week. It's pay and pray advertising, Steve. I pay and I pray that someone comes to my restaurant. And I've been doing a lot of praying lately, right? Mainly because there's no guarantees I'm going to get a customer. But Steve, if you're prepared to let other people know, right, what about my restaurant, right? So if you're prepared to recommend, just keep clicking through, Steve. If you're prepared to recommend my restaurant to other people, and they come and dine at my restaurant, I will pay you a percentage of their bill every time they come. And in that way, Steve, it's a win-win-win. I win because I don't pay for advertising without a customer. So I get 100% return on my advertising dollar. So I win. You win because for once you're getting paid for recommending something. Normally we recommend a movie or a restaurant. I'm still waiting for the check from the movie theater and the restaurant, right? And thirdly, the customer wins because you've recommended a good restaurant, a good experience for them. So this is a win-win-win all round, Steve. And it's like me saying to the restaurant, so how many people can I recommend to your restaurant, Tony? He says, as many as you want. Okay, so the more I recommend, the more I get paid. That's right. So there's no cap on it. No, you can recommend as many as you want. So my income is untapped. Next slide. So if you replace the restaurant with a seer, because that's how a seer works, it's a win-win-win. Right? You won't see a seer advertising. You and I do the advertising, right? And then if people go to we recommend a seer to other people, right? And they open up an account with a seer. If it wasn't for you, they wouldn't be getting that business. So they'll pay you a percentage on what they do. They don't pay you. It's not coming out of their pocket. It's coming out of seers. I love that concept. I love it. It's a win-win-win. And very few people understand that. World-class support system and tools. In Australia, it'll cost you $60 to open your account, and with that, you get a virtual office and your own personal website. If you had to set these two things up yourself, it would cost you thousands. And so, so there's three ways people can participate with a seer. You can be a retail customer, you can be a preferred customer, or you can be an associate. For $60, I just thought it was good value to be as an associate, but you can speak to your person who invited you along on that. If you look at the markets, they talk about Australasia for a reason. It's Australia and Asia. And if you look there, slides 18 months old, but in the last 2 years, these countries have opened up in Asia. And that's our that's our turf. Most Europeans, right, and Americans are 6 removed from knowing someone in Asia. You know, they might know someone who knows 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 someone in Asia. Us in Australia or New Zealand, we're generally 1 remove. Generally, we know someone who knows someone in Asia. So this is our turf in Asia. And this is going to be the biggest market in ASEA in the next 5 to 10 years. And it's right on our doorstep. And so if you're looking at this from a commercial point of view, we're at the right end of the rollout of this. And it's like the opening of McDonald's, where no one knows about it. Next. So you build your distribution channels, and it starts off with you. When I started 4 years ago, it was me by myself. And then I introduced someone else, and then they didn't want to keep it a secret, so they started to share it with people. And once this starts, you can't stop it, and it just grows. And I think the numbers it's incredible. Where could it be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Who knows? And we're having a tremendous impact on people's lives. People that people have given up on them, and we've had tremendous results. So as you develop your business, it'll take you all over the world, especially with the internet today and Zoom, and you won't know where it takes you. Next. So basically, you can run a global business from home, and your next door neighbour won't even know about it. And with technology today, with social media, you can connect with people all around the world, and you don't have to leave your home. If you're looking for a quick start, if you want to hit the ground running, I'll just run through a couple of slides on that. So we're looking to identify people who want to make some changes in their life right now, as in ready to go. So we're looking for people to help. And generally there's three types of people. This is sort of a way of representing those three types: red apples, green apples, and rotten apples. The red apples are people that are ready to go. That was me. Yep, what do I do next? The green apples are people that got questions, and that's probably the majority of your people, and that's understandable. I would be annoyed if you didn't have questions after the presentation tonight. But main thing there with those questions is make sure you get them answered from a credible person. Right? Don't very, very important, because you don't want to miss this information, this quality information, and get down the track and realize you got the information from the wrong person. And the bottom one is what is rotten apples, but they're not rotten people. They're just people that, you know, they're not looking at this point in time, and that's fine. We're not looking for everyone. We're just looking for the people that are looking down. And this is an emotional roller coaster when you get started in this, and we get together with a person who invited you along, who educate. Don't go off and just do this by yourself. We have a system to run by. You're in business for yourself, but you're not by yourself, right? If you're going to cross a minefield, you're better off to follow someone. The person who invited you along on this call is already ahead of you in crossing the minefield, so they can save you a lot of time and a lot of money. And one thing is the benefit of the purpose of this slide is, you know, learn to be emotionally neutral instead of when someone says yes. Right? Generally, I wait to see what people do, even when they say yes. So try and keep evenly balanced, rather than high one day and in the gully and the next day. Next. So you'll find all kinds of people as you develop your business. You know, red apples, green apples, rotten apples. And I love the analogy. It's a bit like what you're looking for is predominantly the red apples. That's what you like to find. And if I gave you $1,000, if I said to you, right, I'm going to give you $1,000 for every red apple, and I'm going to send you into an apple orchard, and for every red apple you bring back, I'm going to give you $1,000. Right, so off you go with your bucket. Would you stop to pick a green apple or a rotten apple? No, you wouldn't. You'd be running through the orchard looking for reds. And if you can have that mindset in developing this business, remember the reds are people that are looking for an opportunity now. Right, and the other thing too is when you go, the air hostess, when she goes down the corridor with a trolley, she asks people, "Would you like coffee, sir? Would you like a drink?" Right? When people say no, she doesn't cry and get upset. She just goes to the person next to him. "What about you, sir?" She remains emotionally neutral. So we have a simple system. Red apples attract red apples. Entrepreneurs attract entrepreneurs. People on the dole attract people on the dole. Right? So like attract like. You find a red apple, they'll bring on red apples. All right, next. So here's you. This is what you're looking for. You're looking to have an orchard of red apples. Now, the great thing about this is you're not looking for a lot. You find a few red apples and you can make a significant difference to the income that comes into your household. So you're not looking for a lot, but you are looking for quality. Next. So where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a consumer where you just want to consume the product? And that's fine. I'd highly recommend that. Everyone over 50, in my opinion, should be on this because we're down to 50% production of these molecules. So you might just want to be a consumer, and I will never go off the product. You might want to keep your primary source of income and just develop something on the side. And I think in today's climate, as we move forward and come out of the situation we're in, I think in social arenas moving forward, it's going to be common for people to ask themselves, ask other people, right? They might ask them how's work, but they'll probably also ask them, so what's your side hustle? What are you doing on the side? And that's going to be, it's a bit like smoking. In my era, 40 years ago, you were an outcast if you didn't smoke, right? But today, you're an outcast, you know, it's not so comfortable to be a smoker, right? And the same thing moving forward. To run a business from home in the last 20 years has sort of been what people consider to be something to do part-time, right? But it's going to be more and more important moving forward, and people will be looking for a side hustle based on what we're going through in this present climate. So we're in a really good position to help people, right? Get through times like this if it ever comes again. Or you might look at becoming a full-time builder. And the person who brought you along here tonight can put you onto people like that. And that's what I wanted to speak to. I wanted to speak to people that had already made the income that I was looking to make. It's hard to teach what you haven't done. And generally, the person who invited you along to this call often is not that further ahead from you. So once you work out if you're looking at this to develop an income, work out what income that is and ask the person who invited you along here if they can put you in front of someone that's already making that income out of this business. You know, it's time to put the ego in the pocket and put them in front of people that basically can share that knowledge with them. Very, very important. Next. So in the coming years, ASEA will become one of the largest companies within the health and wellness, athletic and anti-aging industries of all time. As Virtus Norton said, we're all at the start of something big with great purpose. And right now is the moment that we begin influencing the future. We can change the world, and we're doing it one cell at a time. So I thank you for your presence tonight. Hopefully you got something out of that. As I said at the start, if you've come here from a science background or with a pen and paper, you may not have got all your questions answered. I encourage you to chase it and find out more. And the person who brought you along here tonight can put you onto that information, get your questions answered, and hopefully you'll see what I saw when I was put onto this, and you might put your hand up and give us a hand to drive it to market, because we'd love to have you on board. Thank you very much.
Awesome, Steve. Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Awesome, Steve. Absolutely fantastic presentation, in my opinion. And it looks like by those that are messaging me on the side here, they feel the same. So that truly was awesome, Steve. I really, really appreciate it being on tonight.
Thanks,
folks. Yeah, no, anytime, mate. And folks, thank you to you. Thank you for your precious time. And on behalf of myself and Steve, may you be well, may you be safe, may you be secure, and may your mind be at peace, especially through these turbulent times. All the best, everyone. Thank you very much.